Chris. Y'all ready? Class is in session. All right. My name is Angelo Baque, and this is
Virgil Abloh.
And I want to say thank you for everybody coming in to participate in the first ever social studies. This is taking a lot of hard work. It didn't happen overnight. Really excited that I might curse, so please forgive me ahead of time. But I don't know, this is something special to me. You know, I had an opportunity back in September to help create the programming for Virgil's, I think, one of the biggest deals that Nike's ever done. You know, like this man right here got 10 silhouettes that no athlete has been given that type of deal. And for me, it was an honor to help create the programming for Virgil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm like thinking that's weird. I've never even thought about it in that context of like an athlete thing, but when you said that, the bigger narrative is that collectively, all of us as a whole equaled an athlete, bigger than an athlete, right? Which is the way you worded it is like super telling. Like I didn't do 10 shoes, like we collectively decided these are shoes and this is how we wanted it.
Right. Right. So the reason I'm giving you all this backstory is because most people are coming up to me asking like, what social studies, what does it mean, yada, yada, yada. And really the inspiration came afterwards, after we completed Virgil's 3-day launch, where a lot of, for me, the magic happened in the workshops. We had like about 900 feet to kind of make it happen, and there was this interaction and tangibility between us and y'all, you know what I mean, who, I'm old, you know, 39, you know, like I might be as old as your dad, you know, so it's kind of cool to like sit down and, you know, see you guys like work and create your own thing, you know what I mean, like growing up I didn't have anybody that looked like me to tell me that I could be a creative director, an art director, have my own 3-day programming, work with my friends, travel the world, you know, so for me this is, you know, to inspire, you know. But anyway, let's get into it. So today's workshop is about making t-shirts, and Virgil was kind enough to design the crew tee for us, you know, and some people see it and like, yeah, you slap logos on it, what's the big deal? Like, it's a big deal, you know, because this man right here would normally get paid, you know, 7 figures to do something like that. And then for me, the only way that I can, you know, I guess like even out that gesture is by, you know, giving the proceeds to charity, you know, like, can I use an extra 50K in my bank account? Absolutely. You know what I mean? But, you know, that for me, that's not the objective of this. You know, for me, the objective is always to kind of give back, whether it's through dough or through knowledge or through just time. Right now, I think for both Virgil and I, like time is the biggest commodity, right? Yeah. There's not enough of it. I wish I could get a 25th hour in a day, which I don't. And I just sleep. Yeah. So. Anytime you guys want to say facts after I say something, I'm into that, you know, just me talk, you know, like y'all can, I'm ready for the ad-libs. So let's get into it. So the reason I brought up the crew tee is because coming where I'm from, you know, like to represent a crew was a big deal, you know, whether it's like skateboarding crew, graffiti crew, b-boying crew, like to be down with something is, you know, for me, like it was a big deal. So when growing up to me, like the Rocksteady crew, you know, like their whole attitude, the way they dress, they were Puerto Rican, I couldn't grow an afro, you know, so like, this to me was like the epitome of New York City cool. And then to get one of these meant you were down, you know, so like in my own way, like by us creating the social studies, see like all y'all down, y'all have the accessibility to buy a t-shirt and be a part of something, right? This guy right here, his name is Keith Harrington. And growing up, Keith, in my opinion, and believe me, this is just my opinion, I'm not Wikipedia, was the first guy to pretty much put his artwork on a t-shirt and make it commercial. You know, in the same way that like Warhol was able to make multiple editions of the same painting and still make you pay hundreds and thousands of dollars of it. But this made it accessible to the masses, and he had a store called the Pop Shop in Lafayette in the early 80s. Way before there's a Supreme store, or there's other stores like 555 Soul and Milk Fed and all these other like cool ass stores in Lafayette that don't exist anymore. So right here for me, this is kind of like one of the forefathers of all the shit that you guys like, which we call streetwear today. This under one of his designs that back in the 80s, apartheid was a big deal. Whether you know it or not, in South Africa, they still believe in apartheid, where basically, you know, if you were black, you weren't allowed to sit with white people or drink from the same fountains or eat in the same restaurants. And he made a T-shirt. This design right here was a big deal for me, like back in the mid '80s, and just kind of allowing us to kind of just say something on the T-shirt and not just slapping the logo on the T-shirt, but actually, my point is that you guys still have the power to do the same thing today, you know, especially in the political climate that we're in and crazy ass president we got. After that is PNB Nation, which was started by 3 graffiti writers from New York City. So this is the transition into the 90s, where I saw something that I could relate to. You know, like PNB was an acronym for many things, like Proud Living Brothers, Please No Bacon, people need blue jeans. Like, you could kind of create your own acronym for PNB. So for me right here, this was like, oh, I could do this. Because these dudes look like me and they're about 10 years older than me, so I could get busy just like them. OG Supreme team. Once again, to me, this was like epitome of cool, being from Queens. And you see, like, most of these dudes are just young, rocking T-shirts. And it was a kind of a way to like be like, yo, this is who I am. This is part of my identity. You know, like a T-shirt means a lot of things. Even if you're wearing a plain white, like Hanes tee or a plain black tee, it means something to you. You know what I'm saying? It's a uniform, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. The Cojo Te Mojo. This is a Supreme graphic from the early 2000s. I just thought it was funny because it's kind of like Dominican slang, like if I catch you, I'll wet you. In a way, it's kind of like a dirty like thing. And then this right here is my company, Absurd, that I started in 2002, and this was like my first like hood banger. And I was able to buy a lot of sneakers off of the proceeds. Instead of being smart and taking the money and reinvesting into the company, which I should have done, I did something really stupid and took my girlfriend out to BBQs and Red Lobster. But this T-shirt means a lot to me because it's the first time that I saw like people like in Tokyo wearing something that I made, or people in London and Paris, and was able to kind of communicate, you know, through, you know, just a tee, which is what we still do today. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when people are like, "Yo, I love what you've done for culture," like you inspire me. I'm like, dude, I just make clothes. Like, it ain't that serious. I'm not discovering like the cure for cancer. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I hope you guys, you know, will do one day. But I'll let Virgil take over from this point.
For you know, mimicking a lot of what Angelo says, that you know, like, ironically, I'm obsessed about graphic T-shirts, and I wear like this $4 one for the Media Club. But these things are our canvas. You know, it's like if I'm running the Art Basel, like, you know, artists basically go to a stretch. If they buy canvas, go to a stretcher, like. Do put their idea on top of it, and those things can be valued, you know, honestly, in tens of millions. When you're in the perfect images that Angelo led off on, like these instances of niche culture, which is like a crew, like B-boys, or kids in California, Dogtown B-boy, you know, like the birth of like a skate crew T-shirt, you're basically just adding value onto it. This is a baseline cost, $4. But with the right idea in the right context, it can be something way more meaningful. And when we were thinking about this project, the idea of the crew T-shirt, for me coming up at Union, I bought this shirt, which was, you know, this next slide sort of like outlines the strength of our community versus like fashion. So this is perfect. We're in this context of like this luxury sort of design space. You would never, I can guarantee you would never get a shirt that has a Prada Louis Vuitton logo on it. Like, that just breaks the infrastructure of how that world is built in terms of like traditional luxury. But this shirt, something that I bought when it came out, to me was like, wait, the idea of a community is bigger than each individual brand. And it's not like there's no transfer of like, oh, Stuzzi's gonna lose sales to Supreme now just because we put our logos next to each other. This was just simply like, hey, if you're a part of this community, and you know, T-shirts are just the byproduct. So the design that we did is, you know, was inspired by me having this shirt, but what's unique and something for you guys to think about, because we're like teaching, not just talking, is design ethos. So my design ethos for the shirt was allowing everyone to merge all their graphics onto one. Like Awake's signature placement still exists. No vacancy logo is where it should be. You know, Oath and somewhere logo, and that's adding design from this. One thing that I think we should address too is like, it's obvious there are great T-shirt designs and there's really bad ones. You know, I think we need to teach good design, and not that it's an opinion, but it has to have some premise to it. So that's just going off of a mini tangent. But the inside label of this tee is also important. You know, I was coming to New York during the time of like these small brands on Rivington, you know, everywhere. It was a community, and this retail mafia was also just like a pseudonym and like a phrase for how these brands move together. But I think it's super important. So the inner label, everything's important, you know. And then just some of my classic favorites, you know, something that you guys can research is Aaron, you know, from No Way, but, you know, just a sort of figurehead and sort of the idea of community and the brand Anything, a New York thing. You know, we're putting out some great graphics. This is Eric Elms. You know, he is the guy, you know, the downtown dog. So to me, these are like classics. These are, in my mind, cairns, you know, to this culture that we're existing in now. There's people before it that made, you know, important sort of sayings, and they're all referent. You know, we're streetwear, so it's about finding the right reference and then executing it in a new way. That's our language. So obviously, these are sort of figured out. And for me, you know, going to A Life for the first time. A shop that was sort of an incubator for graffiti kids, and you know, American Apparel was new. That was the fresh blank to print on at the time. So I was like buying these things and treating them like art and the importance that they are. You know, just like this is like a really awesome time in New York. I think it's important to recognize that the ability that we have to do this is on the backs of fallen brands that came way before us. A lot of things have gone out of business when the market wasn't as prime as it is now. So it's just important to know that whether you know, I'm not too far gone to think, it's like, hey, I come from like you know, Rob opening up A Life and getting the brand taken from him by investors and then him coming back. Like, that's a part of the lineage. We're all a part of that community. And yeah. And then, you know, obviously, it's important to study how our feeling about t-shirts translates around the world. Like, my favorite place to shop now is artist gift shops. Because I like this idea that, so, you know, like Damien Hirst, like great tea and he goes in right now, like, let's study how they do it. You know, they have these multi-million-dollar brands, but t-shirt is something common. Like merch, you know, obviously look at music artist merch now, and that early image of Rocksteady crew. Like, people have figured out, the world has come to a place where it's like, oh, we know how to generate sales. We're going to do it just the same way. So, you know, studying those ways and understanding it. But I like that Damien Hirst is an artist that could simply say, I don't lend my ideas to t-shirt.
And you can see the lineage from Damien Hirst all the way to Keith Haring. You know, without Haring, they wouldn't be a Damien Hirst t-shirt.
Exactly. So it's like this feeling, you know, we're fashion designers too, just the same way, just in a, not the exact same, but in the same spirit. And these are our sort of some other classics, favorites. But yeah. Time to stop talking.
Yeah. Enough with the yipping and yapping. That's just whining me. We have all the logos for you guys to use, all the partners that are participating in social studies. Have fun. There's no rules. You can place whatever you want. There's 3 or 4 colors that you can use. So, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or Virgil. If Virgil's on his phone, just be patient. But yeah, man, have fun, guys. Welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. Music.
Yeah.